Oh yeah, here we go.
Welcome to Future Balls. What do we have first up?
Well, I think I'm spinning the wrong way.
Hey, number one is GMO.
GMO. Yeah, we're spinning the right way now.
Number two, the second topic we'll talk about is VR. VR and GMO. And number three, lucky number three is renewables. Okay.
Oh my
Renewables, GMO, and VR. Okay, how does that impact the future? Go, go, go.
Renewables, GMO. Quick monkey. Code futurist. Monkey futurist.
Monkey futurists. That is a tricky one.
I've got to let it sit. I was too busy concentrating on spinning the ball machine.
It went the wrong way and it's like, time to panic. It's not coming out. Oh, and we didn't say our names either. Monkey 1, Monkey 2. I'm Tristan Grace.
Both monkeys.
Yeah.
GMO, VR.
And renewables.
Oh my God.
Well, okay. So GMO and renewables, I think it's actually brings up something really interesting that I guess I haven't really fully appreciated. But once you have fully renewable energy coming through, like let's just say it's all solar, all of that power is getting put into creating food, creating genetically modified stuff. That means that you've just got essentially infinite food just being produced there. All you need to do is just the maintenance on top. But it's not like you're running out of a resource that's going to run out. We're directly converting the sun into food for us. So if that can scale up as much as we need it to, that means it could support just tons of people for free.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can get that part. That's a good part.
Yeah.
Because so obviously if you have like infinite energy, or not infinite, like abundance.
Abundance, yeah. Let's just say full-on abundance energy, yeah.
Although I assume like once we hit, 200%, 300%, 400% energy, we're just going to use it all. Like when we hit
well, yeah, exactly.
When we hit 1 gigabit per second internet, we're like, well, we'll just use it all.
Yeah, we'll just keep on using more.
But so the cool thing that I've always loved, I think Peter Diamandis was the first that kind of I heard this from and pushed it, is like, well, once you have abundant energy, you have abundant water because you just do desalination.
Absolutely.
Because the biggest issue with desalination is, I mean, once you get around like, there's a lot of maintenance issue with like cleaning out pipes and all that stuff. But the biggest thing is like energy. It's just a massive energy sink, which is why it makes more sense like not to do desal if you don't have to.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, once you have abundant energy, you have desal, so you have unlimited water, and so now you've just solved your water issue for growing food.
Yeah, solved your water, solved your food. Once renewables hit that point, I think there'll be a giant cultural shift as well, because it's still very much like, don't consume too much, all of that, like, because it's still like, doing bad impacts. But let's just say if all those negative externalities get solved, then consuming's not a bad thing. It's kind of like the same way. If you actually are paying for all renewable energy right now, then go for it. Oh my God, if you like having your air conditioner running non-stop and just sitting in the cold, don't try and optimize all these micro things about turning off lights when you go into a room or out of a room or something. I like that. I like that idea of just going crazy with energy, like crazy with CPU cycles, crazy with internet bandwidth. Like I just leave a 4K stream on my side monitor because why the fuck not? Whereas thinking back to, 10 years ago when every bit, we used to fight over stuff in the share house about who was using the bandwidth. Whereas now just go for it. Just have
all the fights. Myself and my brother as kids, that's all the fights we had. It's like there was not enough bandwidth for both of us to play games online at the same time.
Yeah. Now it's a harmonious collective in a house. Does that mean we'll have a harmonious society with a full renewables? There'll be no more wars or anything.
I don't know. Well, there's like, I mean, there's the whole like one of the criticisms of techno-optimism is that whole thing of like, well, if we just have abundant, like you just said there, like if we just have abundant energy, where we can just like
solves everything.
Just keep doing the same thing we do. Like nothing can go wrong. It's like
there'll be another local maximum, I think. That we'll get to a point that there'll be something that stops us from continuing to grow.
Yeah. I think another thing we could do with renewables is if we have unlimited energy. So carbon capture is a big thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And again, that's going to be a massively like energy intensive process, I assume. If they ever, like, I'm still dubious of this idea, like this idea that we have this machine that just like you put these machines around and they just like suck out all the carbon. Like, I don't know if it's going to work at that scale, but some of the companies that are trying to do that, they're kind of having byproducts of that. So like basically you suck out the carbon and then you can make things like alcohol or fuel or all these other things.
Yeah, right.
And so I'm wondering like if you could also do something where you could suck out nutrients from the air and that becomes your fertilizer source.
Yeah. All the carbon getting in there, all the fertilizer.
Yeah, because if you think like, I don't know if I'm not a chemist, but
no.
like I've heard before that like this trippy idea that trees don't grow from the ground necessarily, they grow from the air.
Oh, it is all the air. Yeah, it's all the carbon in the air.
That's pulling out all the air. But I wonder if you could also do something, where you just like, so we're talking about like carbon capture machines. Like what if you had like nutrient capture machines where they can somehow just like pull out nitrogen from the air and then turn that into fertilizer. And then you could use that to then help grow food again. I don't know.
Hells yeah.
Random idea.
I like that.
What about GMO? Let's go more specifically on GMO.
True. Just kind of just went GMO, all being food, but oh my God, that is just the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
So what are we going to genetically modify next? What's not just food, but going on to somewhere else?
Well, something I've been really keen on, I don't know, again, because I'm not a geneticist or biologist or anything, but I really love this idea of like GMO salt-resistant azolla as a way to another carbon capture type technology to help kind of reverse climate change. Because the idea of like, if you look back at there's a thing called the Azolla event where apparently like a long time ago there was a big freshwater body and Azolla, this kind of duckweed thing, took over the entire lake. And the lake would fill up and it would flood out into the ocean. And so what would happen is the Azolla is only like a freshwater plant, but what would happen is it would go out onto the ocean, being pushed out of this big lake, and then it would survive on the ocean for a long time because there's like a freshwater layer above the saltwater. And then when the Azolla would die, it would then sink to the bottom of the ocean, and essentially it's taken the carbon out and just dropped it to the bottom of the ocean.
Ah, that's cool.
And Azolla does the exponential thing. Like it basically like doubles every day or something ridiculous. So it'd be cool if you had salt-resistant GMO where you could just like, okay, you just grow it in today's oceans, you just release it, and it just very quickly like covers like huge amounts of area of the oceans, captures all that carbon, and then just sinks to the bottom. Yeah. I'm sure there's like
chills down there.
I'm sure there's like second order, third order complexity, like issues of you covering the entire ocean with a
she'll be right, mate.
But that's the cool one.
That is cool. I have not come across that before. Yeah, interesting.
I mean, there's the GMO of all the like creating your own artificial life and crazy organisms and
creating your own, changing your own bacteria, changing just everything. We're getting into the
growing cat girls.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You don't hear a lot about like GMO of animals. I mean, like, the glow in the dark mouse and all that, but I feel like that's super old now. Like, the ear on the back of the mouse, that was the big thing of us growing up, but god damn, that's old. Like, what is some of the latest technologies in the animal GMO space? I haven't come across a lot lately that I can talk about. I'm sure there's a lot out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I occasionally try and watch like the IndieBio demo days. They're usually the best. But they're doing more stuff like plant-based leather, like lots of plant-based stuff.
Are they plugging any animals directly into VR, replacing their eyes with maybe just screens in there, and that's all the animal can experience?
Just for the shit of it.
Yeah, why not? You can actually fully control their inputs, at least from their eyes. If you simulate all the rest going around, you've got a genetically modified animal that only exists in VR. Its only sight is from that. And then what is cool that you could actually say put cameras around somewhere else, so you could actually make it seem like it's going through different things. Like, chuck a cat in a roller coaster, see how it reacts. The ethics of this are just so wildly awful. Interesting though.
I feel like this is something Zuckerberg would do easily. No qualms.
Already doing it to humans, right? Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of cool things that you could do there once you actually start replacing sensors of an animal as digital copies. So let maybe just start small, super, super small. So I'm not sure how you do it with bacteria, but let's just go, say, with a mouse or something. Still horribly ethically wrong, but let's just skip over that for now and just keep on going with it. So say you replace its eyes with VR, so it's directly in there. Replace its auditory as well, so it's just totally controlled digitally. And you're then just well, at least through audio-visual, you're controlling exactly what the mouse sees. You could put it into different experiences, record how it reacts, and then do it again with another mouse. There's a great game called Soma, where that's essentially what happens, is that you start virtualizing a person in a space, but it's actually them, and you just make them run through it again and again and again and again and again. That's how they interrogate you to find out your passwords, is they just put you through this thing again and again until you get your password.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's pretty horrific. But well, you're starting to make like proper digital animals, and like maybe that's a good way to actually connect something to the machine, to actually make life digital itself, is that you're replacing bits and pieces that way. So you genetically, you're not really modifying the mouse, but there would have to be a side on the biology. There'd have to be something on the biological side to actually interface as well with the machine, to have like your eyes replaced or something. I don't think it's as simple as just cutting up what we are now and putting it on. I really wish it would be, because that means we could do it.
But isn't that what like Neuralink and others are doing? There's no.
Well, yeah, that's true. Hey.
There's no genetic modification there.
Man, what if you could though? What would that allow? Could you make it more receptive? Because the problem with my understanding at the moment, that one of the biggest issues with having a brain-computer interface is the kind of like scarring over, that you put the electrodes in the brain and it kind of like rejects it and it keeps on trying to push it out. That's my very limited understanding.
I think they're hoping to solve that just with smaller wires.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I don't know.
Well, that's great then.
Potentially, yeah. I wonder if you could do stuff like, so sticking with the eye, so you could potentially do stuff where you genetically modify vision to like, like, I mean, things like there's different species that, can see in different wavelengths, I assume.
Yeah.
So if you could,
bees.
Yeah, so if you could do that, and you can kind of genetically modify humans in that way, where you basically take what we already know of in the animal kingdom, and you just kind of like selectively take those, and then you just, I mean, again, what would be cool is like if we had a genetic bank of like all of the crazy adaptations that every single known species on the planet has, and we just like codify that into like a genetic string, and then we can just like so you can almost have like a weird little app store of like genetic enhancements for either yourself or for plants or anything, and you basically just go, okay, well, I want to have like night vision, and you just go to the app store and you just go like, oh yeah, there's the night vision code,
genetic DLC, huh?
Yeah, and you just like, you download it. It's a subscription basis.
Yeah, of course, naturally, it can't be anything else.
Turn it off if you stop paying. But yeah, you just like, you go, yep, download, and it just like, it prints out the DNA code into like a little vial or a little tablet or something, and you eat it, and then you just it just goes through your body, and it just like does genetic modification. Magic.
All powered by renewables.
It'd be cool if you could reverse it as well, like, because it would suck if like you just get all these like,
yeah, that's
aggregating like, oh shit, I've got night vision now, fuck.
That's the big thing that terrifies me with a lot of that stuff. And human augmentation and along those lines of just modifying the body is, I'd like to know that it's very reversible, very easily. Because, oh my God, as you build software, as you just make anything, there are issues. All the time, there are issues.
You get like a genetic debt, like tech debt.
But
yeah. Like legacy code. Like, oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah. Well, God, we already have that now as humans. Like, our backs and all of that, our appendix, all of these little vestiges of our genetic history.
You end up being plagued by like genetic microservices in your body. Like, oh, fuck. Every time I like move, it just runs like 10,000 fucking genetic pieces of shit that I've aggregated over the years.
You have a Stack Overflow question popping up. Every time I waggle my left finger, it squeaks. Please help. Oh, man. Okay. So just combining it with renewables, which I'm taking to mean, we didn't go deep into what renewables could be and all that, but I'm just taking that to be
renewable
essentially...
humans.
Yeah, we didn't say it yet. Doesn't just have to be energy. But so if we did actually have unlimited energy, and that could be poured into, say, VR, and you've got a biological creature modified to actually be inside the machine with a VR headset on, and unlimited power.
You're big on this, like putting poor animals into forced VR.
The poor creatures.
Continue.
They're just trying their best.
We could try the rabbit in VR.
No. Poor thing. It's done nothing wrong except eat all of my plants.
Yeah, where were you going?
Where was I going with this? No, with the unlimited power, unlimited energy being put into it, you could really get into some interesting outcomes there because you'd stop getting limited by, I don't know, just anything really. You could have whole battery banks of animals hooked up into VR and experiencing different things until something came out. Like, I mean, we thought battery chickens were bad enough. Battery VR'd animals to actually just study their responses to things. Dark as fuck. But I think some really interesting stuff could come out of there. Hopefully the ethics regulation gets there beforehand. I think it probably would because of all the surveillance and stuff.
Right, yeah. How does more energy with animals? I don't understand the connection there. Like,
well, because I guess that's true. Computing on animals, essentially, just trying to mimic absolutely every sense of theirs. And I think you'd need a lot of power for that. Well, actually, you probably wouldn't need much power at all, really.
Just small little computation.
I don't know where I'm going.
I do wonder, like, is energy related to computational power? Like, if we have more energy, do we compute more, or is it more of a hardware type limitation? I don't know.
I think there's a strong correlation between the amount of energy that the world's producing and the amount of computational output the world's producing. It'd be interesting to graph together.
Yeah, I wonder if like one trails the other. Like energy goes up and then computation follows.
Yeah.
Because we just like have more cycles to waste, to burn.
Well, so much of our energy, but it'd be cool to see the percentage as well of the Earth's energy going into computation. What percentage of that is becoming computation over years? Like that'd be, that'd be exponential.
Eating the world.
Yeah, exactly. Oh well, should we leave it there?
Yeah, I think those three were weird to combine.
They were tricky.
Very hard because they're in different realms.
Yeah.
Each of them are in different realms. Well, except for like, I guess VR and renewables is kind of like energy, but
they're still very separate. Yeah.
That kind of shows how like biology is still this like mythical like fringe thing.
Yeah.
Like biotech. Like I think it's just like biotech is definitely going to be the future of crazy shit, but
I've got to do a deep dive into that.
Connecting the two is hard.
I haven't actually seen a lot lately. That's cool.
Yeah, cool. We'll wrap it up there.
Awesome. Oh well, I'm Tristan Grace.
I'm Nathan Waters. Till next time.
Catch you then.